So, glomerular filtration is also called as ultrafiltration. It is the first step of urine formation in which blood is filtered in the glomerulus and GF glomerular filtrate is formed in the Bowman's capsule. So for this ultrafiltration to occur, blood from afferent arterioles passes through three barriers. These three barriers are endothelium of blood vessels in the glomerulus, basement membranes of glomerulus, and third one is epithelium of Bowman's capsule. So friends, endothelium of capillaries and epithelial lining of Bowman's capsules are porous, but basement membrane act as a filter, and as a result the glomerular filtrate formed has almost the same without composition and osmotic pressure as blood, but is plasma proteins and blood cells. So friends, Bowman's capsule is lined with the unique cells called podocytes. Unique cells called podocytes. These cells do not fit tightly together but form a network of slits so that fit over the capillaries. These slits called filtration slits. These slits called filtration slits are very small spaces through which ultrafiltration takes place. Only the molecules which are small enough to pass through the filtering membranes so form the glomerular filtrate, and the large particles remains in the capillaries and pass out through the efferent arterioles. So how does glomerular filtration takes place? You just look. So these green color cells are the podocytes. Endothelium, basement membrane, and epithelium of Bowman's capsules. These are the podocytes, loosely packed spaces through which ultrafiltration takes place. So blood plasma filtered, and the remaining lumen of Bowman's capsule. So friends, ultrafiltration is purely a physical process, and the energy for filtration is derived from the hydrostatic pressures of the blood. So hydrostatic pressure in glomerular capillary is 70 mm of Hg. So it is opposed by the osmotic pressure of plasma proteins and the glomerular filtrate pressure. So now we'll talk about glomerular filtrate and composition of glomerular filtrates. So glomerular filtrate contains what substance contains in the filtrates. So glomerular filtrates contains glucose, amino acids, vitamins, hormones, urea, creatinines, minerals, salts, and water. Does not contain. Now we talk about does not contain. Does not contain RBC, does not contain WBC, does not contain blood platelets, plasma proteins like albumins and globulins. So what is the constituents of glomerular filtrates? So you find out the answer easily. If any time the blood pressure falls severely, the ultrafiltration gets reduced, and if it becomes lower than OP of plasma proteins, osmotic pressure of plasma proteins, so urine formation stops altogether. So glomerular filtration rate 125 ml per minute, both kidneys together, 1/5 of the blood plasma minute per minute, you can say. So it takes 4 to 5 minutes for all the blood to pass through the kidney for get filtered. So GFR at 125 ml in 75 7500 ml per hour, 180 liters in a day. So kidneys have a built-in mechanism for regulation of glomerular filtration rate. So next very important point is that here autoregulation of glomerular filtration. So there are two intrinsic mechanisms that regulate glomerular filtration automatically. First is myogenic mechanism and second one is juxtaglomerular apparatus, JGA. So first one is myogenic mechanism is when an increase in the blood pressure will tend to strengthen afferent arteriole. So normally it is expected that if the afferent arteriole stretches, it would increase the blood flow to the glomerulus. Obviously. So the wall of afferent arterioles, however, responds to stretch by contraction, thus the reducing the diameter of arterioles. So this increases the resistance to flow. So hence it automatically regulates the blood flow. So this myogenic mechanism reduces the variations in amount of blood that flows through the glomerulus. Second one, juxtaglomerular apparatus. A group of cells called juxtaglomerular apparatus is located between the distal convoluted tubules and the afferent arterioles close to glomerulus. So again listen to me very carefully now. I am telling you right now. So JG cells, juxtaglomerular cells, secrete enzymes like renin that modulate blood pressure and thus regulate the blood flowing through glomerulus and hence the glomerular filtrate rate. If fall in GFR, how these cell activated question is this, and how does this hormones renin released, enzymes, secret like enzymes renin released. So a fall in GFR can activate the JG cells to release renin, which can stimulate the glomerular blood flow and thereby the GFR comes back to normal. So both these mechanisms, myogenic and juxtaglomerular, work together and regulate the GFR automatically over a wide range of blood pressure. So there are an extrinsic neural control and the regulates the filtrate rates. So now we will talk about second parts of the urine formation. First is ultrafiltration, second is tubular or selective reabsorption. So of the 180 liters of glomerular filtrate produced per day, only 1.5 liters is put out as the urine. So obviously the rest 99% is reabsorbed, the nephron tubules. In other term, it also means that out of 125 ml of glomerular filtrates per minute, about 124 ml is reabsorbed and only 1 ml is put as a urine. So friends, by ultrafiltration, many useful substances also get filtered out into glomerular filtrate along the excretory products. All these are selectively reabsorbed by the capillaries network surrounding the PCT loops of Henle and DCT. So this selective absorptions may occur by osmosis or by active transport. So remember 2 points here in second points of the urine formation, that is reabsorption. So first all filtrate and after that some unwanted substance also filtered in initial filtrate, but they reabsorbed. How these molecules or these electrolytes reabsorbed? First point, through osmosis. So certain substances like sodium and chloride are reabsorbed simply by passive diffusion or osmosis, or passive transport you can say also. Okay, so these molecules move in and out wherever nephron is permeable, like in PCT. So water and some other substances like urea, ammonia and ketones bodies are also reabsorbed by osmosis. So about 80% of water and 50% of urea from glomerular filtrate is reabsorbed into blood by this process. So through osmosis, you can easily identify 80% of water and 50% of urea reabsorbed into blood by this process. Second one is active absorption. Certain useful substances like glucose and amino acids are returned into blood from the filtrate by active absorption. So it takes place against the concentration gradients by utilizing the energy. So by this, even a small amount of left infiltrates can be absorbed and total absorption can take place. So the glomerular filtrates contain 200 gram of glucose and all is reabsorbed by the blood. So tubular or selective reabsorption is completed. So it has two types of mechanism, osmosis and active transports. Now we'll talk about third point is tubular secretion. Tubular secretion. In third point, as the reabsorption of useful substances from the filtrate to the blood takes place, just the reverse takes place in the tubular secretion. Most of the tubular secretion occurs in distal convoluted tubule. The selected like potassium, sodium and hydrogen, certain drugs, some metabolic waste like creatinine and ammonia are actively transported into the tubule. So they are secreted by the tubule into their lumen and form a part of the urine. So most of the potassium ions are secreted in DCT in exchange of reabsorption of sodium ion. So uric acid and ammonia are also secreted in the DCT and collecting tubules. So friends, tubular secretion is of far less importance in mammals, but is of great importance in the marine fish and desert amphibians which do not possess glomerulus in their nephrons. All nitrogenous waste like urea, creatinine and mineral ions are directly secreted into the tubules. So finally, urine is produced. As a result of all three mechanisms, ultrafiltration, selective reabsorption, tubular secretion, kidney maintains homeostatic steady state of the body fluids also as a net effects of above stated mechanism. So finally, urine is formed.